Hello students, today we are going to learn a new topic, an example under infectious disease, that is AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Let us learn which virus is attacking it, which virus is causing the disease, and also how it is affecting our immunity system. Let us learn in detail. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. This is a sexually transmitted disease caused by a virus, human immunodeficiency virus, and it has a viral genome. And first it was detected in USA and recognized in USA among a group of young people who are homosexuals and addicted to drugs. And this virus, this human immunodeficiency virus, belongs to a group of rhinoviruses called retrovirus. Generally, this virus can survive in our body, in the body fluids like blood, semen, and vaginal secretions. So that is the reason why it is a transmitted disease from these body fluids. Generally, the mode of transmission is through sexual contact. This is the most common mode of transmission, or by blood transfusions, or any by infected needles or blood transplantations, blood donations, or by mother to the child by placenta, or during the delivery. It can because the blood can mix up, so the child may get the disease, or by breastfeeding also if it is severe. The virus loads are severe, it can come to the child through the breast milk also. The most prevalent is sexual contact, and generally it won't get transmitted through any ordinary contacts like hugging, talking, dancing, touching, etc., and with infected people. Our body, our immune system, how this virus affect our body is, it will affect it will invade the helper T lymphocytes and reducing our immunity in our body. And it will start invading the T lymphocytes, and just slowly they destroy these CD4 lymphocytes and helper cells, so that our immune system will get affected. So this is the ratio of how this virus can be seen in our body fluids, that is the blood, the semen, vaginal fluid, amniotic fluid, that is the during the growth of the baby, and also in the saliva. So how this virus will infect our T cells, and this infected T cells will produce more genomes. So step by steps we are going to learn now. This diagram represents the replication of retrovirus in our body. This is very important in examination point of view for your board exams. So please learn this diagram properly, and also the steps what to write for this diagram I have given in the next slide. Please note it down and learn, because sometimes it may come as a 5-mark question or 3-mark question also in your board exam. So now how the virus will replicate in our body. So this retrovirus, when it infects a normal cell, it enters into the macrophages. As we already discussed, it has a viral RNA genome. This virus has RNA genome. So when enter into the animal, when this is introduced into a cell, this viral RNA is converted into viral DNA by a process called reverse transcription with the help of an enzyme called reverse transcriptase. Now this viral RNA changed into viral DNA now. This viral DNA incorporated into the host genome, that is the host DNA. This host DNA now containing this virus, now it is get infected, and this will start producing, replicate in the cell, and now it start producing viral RNA. And now this viral RNA enters into the T4 lymphocytes of the blood and infecting it, and there it will start replicating and producing more and more viral DNA. So what will happen ultimately? In our blood, the T4 lymphocytes number will decrease, and thereby our immunity system is reducing. That means if any infected person has a T4 lymphocyte helper cells or immune responding cells are decreasing, so he is very prone to all the disease or infectious agents like bacteria, virus, other fungal, any other diseases. So here this virus is affecting the immunity system of the person who is got infected. Generally, these infected cells can survive though the viruses are being replicated and released. So this is how the replication starts. Very easy. It enters into the cell, it changes into DNA, it incorporates into the host genome, host DNA, and this DNA will infect the T4 lymphocytes, thereby reducing the number, thereby reducing the immunity of the body. And these are the steps given for you to learn in detail, because as I already told you, this is can be asked as a 5-mark question. So please learn these steps. These 2 slides, what I'm going to show you right now is, they are not there in our syllabus or in your textbook. So no need to, no need to prepare for your board exam for these 2 slides, but still for your better understanding, I have given this. And generally AIDS include 3 phases. We call them as asymptomatic phase, where there is no symptoms at all in this period. And this is called window period for that virus. Even though you test for AIDS, it comes negative only. And generally here you have a low grade fever, body aches and sore throat. And the next symptom, next phase is AIDS related complex or ARC. Generally here in this phase, the people suffer from diarrhea, weight loss, cough, swelling of the lymph nodes and fever. So the latent stage or illness stage, the middle one is a latent stage, and the last one is full-blown AIDS. And in this, the patient becomes fully immune deficient and his CD4 count is very, very less. This is the infectious stage, initial, intermediate or illness stage. And see, the symptoms will start. So generally, it takes too long time for AIDS to show its symptoms, and it also depends upon the person's immunity system also. So if the body is very immune, it takes a long time, but once infected, the person is infected for lifetime. What are the symptoms of this HIV infection? When the virus is entered into our body, as I have shown here, our body shows some symptoms like headache, sore throat, skin rashes, swollen lymph nodes, muscle pain. You see the skin rashes, the lymph nodes, as we discussed, that they swell, and joint pains, and also the weight loss. If the person is with a severe illness, they start losing their weight also, and there's diarrhea, vomiting. All these are the symptoms of the disease. Depends upon the viral load, the infection. And how they prevent this disease. And there are a lot of organizations which are trying to prevent this disease, like National AIDS Control Organization, NACO, which is established in 1991, is working to educate the people about this disease. And also in everywhere, local governmental or non-governmental organizations, also NGOs, are doing a lot to educate the people about this AIDS. So who also has started, World Health Organization has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infection, because the younger age people are the more prone to this disease. So they were what are the preventive measures we can take to prevent this virus is, first of all, to avoid the blood transfusions. Even though if there is a need, it has to be safe from HIV. So before any blood transfusion test nowadays, it is going for HIV test. So ensuring that it doesn't contain any viral HIV virus, and also use only the disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals and clinics, and also not to dispose them after you use it publicly. And also they were started using giving the condoms also for free in certain areas, and controlling the drug abuse, and also advocating about the safe sex and about not to go with the multiple partners. That is also one way of like sexual education they were promoting in education field also. And also if the person is susceptible, they have to go for a checkups for HIV, which will be conducted for free. So these are the preventive measures the World Health Organization is taking. And the coming 3 slides, the coming 3 to 4 slides, this is an extra information The only is for your idea. Now we are saying that this HIV virus can be diagnosed by ELISA test. So what is ELISA test? It is a screening test which is based on the antigen antibody reaction concept. This is called enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. So basically antigen antibody will bind to each other. So based on that they will detect, screen that one, whether these antibodies are produced in our body because of that virus. And if it is there, then confirmatory test, that is called Western blot test. What does it do? It detects the antibodies or proteins in our serum, in a patient's serum, that is infected person. So ELISA is a technique which can detect and even quantitate extremely small amount of protein or antibodies or antigens with the help of enzymes. So the enzymes have the capacity to bind to this antigen. So this commonly used enzymes for this test is peroxidases and alkaline phosphatases. And what is the Western blot? Confirm if the person is containing this antigen, that means the antibodies are produced in that person against that antigen, then Western blot test. So they'll take the blood and they culture it and test for plasma for amount of virus present in the body. The viral load test is the one which will help to measure the amount of virus in the blood, which will help in determining for the treatment of that infected person. So how do you detect how the HIV virus is diagnosed in by body? First they do the ELISA test, then they confirm with Western blot test, and then they do the viral load test to measure the infection status. Okay, and so if you want to have a clear understanding about this ELISA test, so please go through these videos. What are the steps they follow to do the ELISA test? These two videos will give you a clear understanding how they go about in this to confirm the HIV AIDS. And what is the treatment? Generally, there is no cure for the HIV because, as I told you, once he is infected for his lifetime. And the only treatment as of now we have is general drugs we use for this treatment during this HIV is AZT and DDI and foscarnet. And these drugs, what they will do is they inhibit the enzymes of HIV so that the effect will be less. The replication we can reduce. And another therapy we are following nowadays, it is called triple therapy or HAART. What is HAART? Highly active antiretroviral therapy. So it's a combination of 3 or more antiretroviral agents, and they are very effective in reducing the HIV particles so that they will reduce the infection of the CD4 T4 lymphocytes and increase the number of immune cells to fight against any other diseases. So these are the, please go through this presentation once again and make sure that you learn the diagram of the replication of retrovirus, and the ones which I have marked with the red color is that extra information. So please go through that and go through the videos to learn it in detail. Okay, thank you.